मेरा ख्याल है अगर मैं मिट्टी के बारे में सोचने लगूं तो मुझे सारी ज़िंदगी चाहिए टू डिस्कवर इसकी जो क्वालिटीज़ हैं मिट्टी की, कि क्या आलू, क्या सब्ज़ी, क्या फल, क्या दरख्त, क्या इंसान, क्या मतलब है. देयर इज़ नो एंड टू द मिस्टिक एंड द मिथ ऑफ क्ले to define it and appreciate it.
Indus Valley Civilization is one of the earliest urban civilizations along with its contemporaries Mesopotamia and Egypt from 3300 BCE to 1900. The Indus Valley encompassed most of Pakistan extending from Balochistan to Sindh and extending into Indian states of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana and the Punjab. The ruins of Harappa were first described in 1842 by Charles Mason in his narrative of various journeys in Balochistan, Afghanistan and the Punjab, where locals talked of an ancient city extending 13 courses, but no archaeological interests were attached to this for nearly a century. In 1856, General Alexander Cunningham, later Director General of the Archaeological Survey of North India, visited Harappa, where the British engineers John and William Brunton were laying the East India Railway Company line. John wrote, "I was much exercised in my mind how are we to get ballast for the line of the railway. Visiting the city, he found it full of hard-well burnt bricks and conceived that there was a grand quarry for the ballast I wanted." Few months later, the line ran through another ruined city, bricks from which had already been used by the nearby villagers. In 1872, Alexander Cunningham discovered the first Harappan seal. It was half a century later, in 1912, that most Harappan seals were discovered by J. Fleet, prompting an excavation campaign under Sir John Hubert Marshall in 1921, resulting in the discovery of the civilization at Harappa. Whatever remains of these cities still stands maintaining its shape and the strength left over from thousands of years. Only recently the floods have caused buckling in the walls that are now being restored.
My philosophy is very simple about bricks, and my understanding about bricks is that it is from us and it is our material. When I say our, that stands for that in the whole region of the subcontinent we have the most fertile lands, and the fertility of the land in the form of crops or other things means the strength and the beauty of the material beneath. So the clay is the medium that is playable in many respects, in many different applications, and whenever it becomes terracotta, it's amazing. I can simply say that the baked bricks have really set the trend to the architectural design, and in my opinion the most beautiful aspect of brick is its behavior towards all kind of climatic scenarios and features. So that's what I think about the brick.
Brick manufacturing and construction has been in our region for centuries. It's a method that the subcontinental man is born with as a feeling, as a way of life, as a part of life. It's our soil, molded by our man to house us. The manufacturing of brick, as simple as it is, involves activity around its making, a lot of energy and dedication. When a brick factory is laid, a whole village of the labours come along with it, making it an activity of a community, contributing to another community in a broader spectrum. Mud method is the most common of brick manufacturing as it is the most economical. It starts with the raw clay, preferably in a mix with 25 to 30% sand to reduce shrinkage. The clay is first ground and mixed with water to the desired consistency. Modern clay bricks are formed in one of three processes: soft mud, dry crust, or extruded. Normally, brick contains silica, sand, 50 to 60% by weight, alumina, clay, 20% to 30% by weight, lime, 2 to 5% by weight, iron oxide less than or 7% by weight, magnesia less than 1% by weight.
We bring the soil from the lands that we have leased and dump it around here, then knead it and leave it to sit under polythene for 2 days till it gains desired consistency, and then we start working with it in the stage, pass it through the molds, sun dry it in the form of stacks for 3 days, and then take it to the next stage.
Here the bricks are stacked together in the kiln for up to a month. These are the sun-dried bricks and are stacked with gaps in them so that they can be baked thoroughly. The stacking process can take from 5 days up to a week depending on the weather. The entire flat peak-looking mound is filled with stacks of bricks. Now, as you have seen the previous stage where the bricks are being stacked, we will go to the next stage.
Now we are at the next stage where these stacks are then covered with soil and holes are left all the way from top to the bottom, which is then filled with coal and baked. These little mounds that you see indicate that the coal is underneath and not to step on it. Till this stage it takes up to a month, and in one batch we stack 2.5 to 2.7 million bricks. Some of them go to waste because of getting overburnt or underburnt. This is the third rate brick which people normally use in their flooring. It is economical as it is and is reasonable in its quality too. This is a lesser quality of the third rate brick which is cheaper, and mostly the poor people use it as it comes with a very low price. They also use it in flooring and basic construction of their houses. This is the first class brick, which is the best in quality and is used for the facings of the buildings. The chemical composition of this brick keeps the salt from the bricks from releasing. These comes in different sizes. For instance, this is 2 by 2 by 9 inches. This one size is 3 by 3 by 9. In 35 years of my experience in the brick business, the demand for it has never descended. Even with the use of concrete and other materials in the market, there is no substitute for bricks.
In the era of detail and scale, even the Mughals could not ignore that the bricks were already being used around this region. For their massive forts and palaces and mosques, they chose bricks to construct with, to decorate with. This shows another aspect in the versatility of bricks, as the Mughals have achieved different forms. Furthermore, in the later times, even the British used it in the buildings that they contributed to this region. Forms like arches and domes can be seen made with the brick that are structurally strong, aesthetically beautiful, and economically, environmentally favorable. present day shape of the brick has evolved leaps and bounds from a simple cuboid to hundreds of different shapes, patterns, and sizes.
Throughout my career, bricks have been my preference as they are most economical material available in our region. I don't see any other reason why I should use any other material. Wherever I can use brick, I use it. And why not? Even my initial most inspiration to use bricks was to achieve the target of making the building in 250 rupees per square foot. And we are talking about an art complex back in early 70s. Like you can see in my design of Alhambra, I have used brick inside out with a combination of other materials, maintaining the minimal cost.
We do know that this is a material that is not only economical, it is also environmentally not as destructive as, for instance, other materials like making steel or cement, and the amount of energy used to make bricks is much less. Also, it is a material from the soil and goes back to the soil. So it's not biodegradable in the sense that, let's say, unburnt brick would be an even more easily recycled material. Fired brick has a longer half-life, so you might say that it is not fully recyclable in that sense. But at least it does not, it's not as damaging.
Bricks have not only been used on the precedents that the Indus Valley Civilization, the Mughals, and British has left us with, but in modified shapes and innovative ways as well. In the modern day, architects have been playing with, experimenting with the use of bricks as a structural element as well as decorative or just decorative, reminiscent of language and soul of our region. The modern buildings tells us the story of the life of the bricks, shows us the evolution of our building material.
Well, bricks have been my preference because during my student life, I was always inspired by the brickwork, looking at different buildings built with brick. And later on, through my education in the architecture, I came to realize and know about the sustainability and the other provisions by the brick. And for sustainable architecture and energy efficient architecture, you need to know about the key or integral materials which can contribute to the sustainability of that design. And I always found brick to be there whenever I looked at examples related to the sustainable development and designing. So that was the beginning when the brick started coming into my mind as a as a key element of architectural design. And then later on, I selected energy efficient architectural design as my thesis project, and I designed energy efficient houses, and we simulated them to assess their performance with the software. And interestingly, after developing a criterion for selection of materials which can contribute, I again found in terms of color, strength, feasibility, cost, anything, brick to be there and the most relevant material. And then I simply decided to go for only brick for my design, because it belonged to a class of people which were not even able to go for very expensive material, but yet the ones which are energy efficient and which are helpful for the energy efficient architectural design, and at the same time are the low cost and easily available and doable, executable, usable. So there are many other factors in which guided me to go towards the brick. And then throughout my practice now onward, after my thesis, it's been something like 10 years, and I have been practicing brick. I use brick always as an integral part of my design, and all the database and knowledge and skills I have got till the day, I use them, and brick has always helped me. You can use it with all the different possibility of the form, design, appearance, texture. So it's always been amazing.
Dr. Shakil Qureshi, a prominent architect of Pakistan who has been coming up with ideas and solutions for energy efficiency, has designed a house on geothermal energy techniques. Spaces are in split levels with terrace roof gardens. Earth cooling tubes are laid 10 feet below ground level to cool the house. Among many of its achievements, functional, economic, and aesthetic, 3 are of prime significance. On a small 10 Marla plot, it is a 4-bed house with more than 80% of the plot area being landscaped. The house does not have any air conditioner. It remains comfortable during summer as well as winters. The cost of construction and the cost of maintenance are both lower than the market.
Luckily, हमारे यहाँ मिट्टी बड़ी पहले दरियाफ्त हुई as a construction material, as a process. मुझे बड़ी खुशी हुई, तो मैंने कहा म्यूजियम का डिज़ाइन ऐसा हो कि जैसे ब्रिक डांस कर रही, ब्रिक इज एंजॉइंग द बर्थडे दैट लोकेशन, साहिवाल टेक्सला म्यूजियम. कोशिश थी कि ब्रिक बाहर भी हो और ब्रिक अंदर भी हो, कि बजाय वो लेपा करने के, प्लास्टर करके उसको छुपा देने के, we continue the monolithic effect of using one construction material. मुझे बड़ा देर से पता लगा कि इसके मसाम होते हैं. मुझे बड़ी देर से पता लगा कि ब्रिक के अंदर हवा ट्रेवल करती है and goes into the other interior part. It gets filtered, it gets tempered by different temperatures और ठंडी होकर अंदर की तरफ जाती है. अगर आप फर्श पे लगाते हैं तो फर्श के नीचे जो टनों मिट्टी है, उसकी जो नमी है, उसकी जो टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस है, वो ब्रिक फ्लोर से होके फिल्टर होके ऊपर की आपकी जो स्पेस है उसका हिस्सा बन जाता है. तो ये जो इसकी क्वालिटी है टू टेम्पर द क्लाइमेट, अगर वो एक्स्ट्रा कोल्ड है या एक्स्ट्रा हॉट है, तो उसको ये ज़रा मयाना रवि पे, तो इन अनदर वे, जैसे वो मटके में पानी रखा होता है और वो माल रोड पे हम देखा करते थे जब छोटे थे कि बाहर ही लोग वॉक कर रहे हैं माल पे, तो किसी दरख्त के नीचे 2 मटके रखे हुए, उसको उनका गला चेन से बंधा हुआ है और उस चेन के साथ एक एल्युमिनियम का या लोहे का गिलास लटका हुआ है, तो किसी ने उसमें से पानी लेके पीना है. और वो कॉन्सेप्ट यही था कि छाँव में आप रखें, वो टेराकोटा सरफेस जो है इसके थ्रू हवा जब गुजरती है तो वो पानी को भी ठंडा रखती है, तो अंदर का टेम्परेचर फ़र्क हो जाता है तो पानी ज़रा नॉर्मल हो जाता है या बेहतर हो जाता है।